You just
Yeah,
missed out on a really good credit card bit, but you can run that back later.
yeah. So basically, you're saying that people are so stressed financially that they actually, or couples will actually go through a divorce because of money. And is it because somebody spends and the other person says no, you can't, and they get into an argument about how much to spend and how much to save?
It's interesting because it's usually both are spenders, I find. They're just spenders in a different area. So you'll get one guy who complains that his wife spends all her money on shoes. And yes, she might spend, $200 every fortnight on shoes. Every fortnight she goes out and buys a new pair of shoes. And you look in her cupboard, yes, there's 20 pairs of shoes, and she looks like she's guilty. But then you turn around and look at him and say, what have you bought in the last couple of months? Oh, nothing. But then every 6 months he might go out and buy the plasma screen TV, or he might buy a computer, or he might upgrade to the newest stereo, or whatever it is. So he doesn't think he's spending as much as what she is because he's doing it in one-off big chunks, whereas she's doing it every single week. And it's the same crime. It's just slightly different in its execution. But what I do for my clients, there's a product that's called income insurance or income protection. And basically, if you happen to get sick, if you happen to get ill, if you happen to get injured and you can't go to work, this product actually pays you 70% of your income. It won't pay you 100% of your income. Otherwise, people would just pretend they've got a sore elbow and they can't go to work for 6 months, right? So
I got a contusion.
Yeah, a contusion and a hematoma. It'll pay you 70% of your income so that at least you're not starving while you're off work, if you're off work for 6 months or so, right? Because it can be very difficult to go from a good wage down to a welfare level. So it'll pay you 70% of your income for as long as you're off work. So that's a rude adjustment for most people who are spending 100% of their income. So I'll actually say to the clients, cut your budget, do whatever you need to do so that you can live on that 70%. And then if you ever do get sick, if you ever get injured, if you ever get hurt and you can't go to work, then the income protection coming in will cover your food and your mortgage and your rates and your taxes and your whatever. You won't have any savings, of course, but while you're not sick, while you are going to work and you're receiving 100% of your income, then you've got 30% that you can actually play with. I suggest they actually tithe 10%, give 10% away. I suggest they actually spend 10% on their own education. And I also suggest that they actually save 10% until they've got enough to buy some stocks or a property or whatever.
Okay, so that's wealth creation down the street. So, but in terms of like triage, right, while they're bleeding or hemorrhaging money in all sorts of directions, would you say, going back to the scenario of the woman buying shoes, handbags, and the guy buying speedboats or jet skis, whatever it is symptomatic of something that they find is missing in their lives, and so they go out looking for something to make me feel better?
Absolutely. And we'll be completely sexist and we'll pick on the girls and say, if girls are missing something in their life, in their relationship, they're going to go out and compensate by buying shoes, right? If the man, and again, I'm generalizing, I'm being sexist. If the man feels like there's something missing in his relationship, he might go out and spend money on alcohol. He might go out and spend money, as you say, on the jet skis and the boats and that sort of stuff that give him a bit of an adrenaline rush. Or maybe he just goes fishing and spends all his money on fishing. Now, those things are symptomatic, as you say. They're empty inside. Perhaps they're empty in the relationship. They're not being fulfilled that way. But if your relationship was absolutely 10 out of 10, if it was passionate, romantic, spontaneous, and sexy, then you'd find you don't actually have the desire to go out and spend money on any toys.
Right. Okay. So for people then who are, you're not a relationships coach, but you could be.
Who says?
You're saying, all right. You're saying.
I'm a sexologist, baby.
Okay, you heard it first. Financial planner and sexologist, Jeremy Britton. So you're saying fix your relationship if you're in a relationship, a marriage or partnership, and then you're saying the money aspect will start to sort itself out.
Well, there's less temptation. Like if your relationship was really, really wonderful, then your partner's not going to cheat, okay, unless there's something sociologically wrong with them, like they're a psychopath or something like that. But if your relationship was brilliant and though their needs were being met emotionally and physically and financially and whatever level, then they're going to be less likely to cheat because they're simply not in the market. They're not looking for it. You know, I don't go test driving other cars every single week because I'm just not in the market for another car. I'm quite happy with the one I've got. Thanks very much. I'm also quite happy with the woman I've got. But again, it's symptomatic of being happy on the inside. If you're happy on the inside, then it becomes very, very easy to make your partner happy. If you've got issues with your own spending, you know subconsciously that you're actually spending more than you earn. Whether you're buying a jet ski once a year or whether you're buying shoes every week or whether you're buying alcohol every night, somewhere in the back of your head, somewhere in your heart, you know that you're spending beyond your means and you're unhappy and therefore you can't make your partner happy. I do. I'm a binary sexologist, maybe. I'm the only binary sexologist in Australia. And it's amazing. A lot of people come to me and say, you know, my financial situation is in a mess, my business is in a mess. And then I ask them the question, well, how's your love life? Oh, I don't want to talk about my love life. That's got nothing to do with anything. And I say, well, obviously you're a little bit defensive about it. It doesn't sound like it's real good. Oh, well, my partner never listens, blah, 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 blah. And you start to say, okay, well, if you're saying your partner never listens, let's take full responsibility for that. Perhaps you're not communicating to them in their love language. And if you're not communicating with your partner in their love language, perhaps that problem goes into your business and you're not communicating with your staff in their language. And then you start to have a problem in your business. And if you're not communicating to your clients in their language, then you don't attract the clients that you actually need. So if